Agriculture brings hundreds of millions of dollars into our local economy every year. It's one of the most significant and sustainable industries and has huge potential for growth and sustainability in our region. One of the key drivers to this ongoing growth and sustainability of agriculture is the full implementation of the Eastern Grampians Pipeline project. It will enable existing businesses to have water security, it will enable growth in the agribusiness sector and a significant value-add sector to grow up around our existing agribusinesses. We need this pipeline to occur, but it's not my story, it's the story of the people you're about to hear from.
One of the main limitations with our business is water security and supply. Basically, well over 50% of our property has no access to water.
We rely on 2 bores on our property, which is only just potable for the livestock, for sheep. And we also have dams, but there's no guarantee that they often dry up. So at the moment, we really are limited in our ability to expand the livestock operation because groundwater and the dams don't allow us to expand as we'd like to. And I would say that that's fairly common across this region.
We've recently been investigating regenerative agriculture, and across Australia, reliable water is the biggest factor preventing people from doing it.
I think, once you've got water security, that's the key determinant of whether a farmer goes ahead or not. If there was water security, for us, it would give us the confidence to say, well, farmers are now progressing, and that might be in terms of, not just immediate inputs, in water facilities, piping, troughs, all the associated stuff, but it's more the extra stuff around pasture improvement, handling capabilities, livestock EID. There's massive growth areas that could actually, we could put our foot on. Ararat was once known as fine wool country. Well, there's no reason Ararat couldn't be known as fine wool country and prime lamb country. So that's what water security could do.
We're planning on expanding the business, and that will be where we will come under stress with water usage. Yeah, the water quality we're dealing with at the present time is not ideal for pigs. It's the salinity of the bore water is can be up to 6,000 parts. The dams aren't filling like they used to anymore. The biggest thing I think for the district is the fact that we can sort of generate more businesses into the area, and stop the trend of people moving away from the area, and try and keep people around the area. That makes communities and keeps everyone happy.
So what I've seen as I've travelled around Australian farming regions is a wonderful contrast between areas that have got water and those that haven't. So what we really want water for is producers to have the capacity to have control over their business, be able to retain livestock maybe through to the finished article rather than selling them early, and with that we'll add so much more viability and robustness to this district. And we're really calling for the federal government to support us, the state government to finish the East Grampians Pipeline, to create a more robust district that will actually see probably greater industries come back to this district because we can retain more livestock. When we visited the district of Griffith, we saw what irrigated water can do for a region, and it just brought industry to town. The farmers became more viable. The town's buzzing, whereas many years ago it was just absolutely lost. A little bit like Ararat's been, because we've got no water.
The cropping's been very hit and miss in the last, especially the last 5 years, but definitely the last 15 to 20 probably. Droughts and frosts and that sort of thing, and I'd like to run more sheep. The water's been a limitation to expanding the sheep enterprise. I'd like to have more sheep to take some of that risk out of it, but also it gets to the point, especially this time of year, we've got paddocks that have got feed in them, but we haven't got water in them, and then we've got paddocks that haven't got no feed in them, but they've got the water, so the stock's got to go where the water is, obviously in summer, some sort of, and you get an inch of rain the other day and it washes the value out of the feed, and it's sort of gone to waste a bit just because we haven't had the water in there to utilise it.
There are times of the year where we're unable to source livestock, and that's due to lack of supply in the area, and we find that that is attributed to farmers not being able to carry livestock through certain times of the year just because of how dry it's. Yeah, it's a downturn in production for us. I'd find that if there was a guaranteed water source, speaking to a lot of farmers around the area, they would definitely put on more livestock if they had a guaranteed water source.
Yeah, I think that the case, what's afflicting us in terms of water security and reliability is the same for all of the other vineyards in the region. And it's been well recognised that this region, the greatest limitation to growth has always been water, and it's been the case for a long time. So it doesn't really attract investment when people see that, and they'll go to other regions and skip over this region first. So in our industry, if you want to grow, you've got to export, and there's not much point in us going to export markets with our Langi Shiraz, our most famous wine, if we can't supply them. The opportunity is there and the potential's there, but we just, our problem is water.